It is an honor to have you at this table.
Yes.
Yes.
How many undisputed champions do you have at this table?
That's a good question.
We have one.
One.
We all three think there's one.
Everyone thinks it. We're going to get to that fight in a bit, but you are a 3-time heavyweight champ. So in your opinion, who's the greatest heavyweight of all time?
Jack Johnson, Muhammad Ali. You know, basically, you know, they both had great strengths, and there's probably a couple more that I didn't mention, but you can basically say they all fit in one room. They're all special in their own way.
How much could you see of Jack Johnson? Did you just see the old grainy tape of it?
I've seen a lot of old footage, and, you know, my hero was more Muhammad Ali because I've seen a lot more of him.
Yeah.
But, you know, if I would have seen Jack Johnson as well, he would have probably changed my boxing a little bit as well. I would have caught something from him, probably a little more showboating or something like that.
I don't know. Ali, he could hold his own there, too, right?
Yeah, if I didn't see the Ali Shuffle, I was upset. I had to see the Ali Shuffle.
So why was he great?
He was great in many ways, you know. Not the fact that what he said, he did.
He did.
He moved around the ring really graceful, fast hands, and he could fake you out. He could, you know, psych you out, you know, with just his words and just with his mannerisms. So that's what I love about him. And
against Frazier, he showed some guts and toughness like I've never seen in a ring before.
Yeah. You know, he showed us the rope-a-dope as well.
Yeah,
and, you know,
Foreman.
Against Foreman. And, you know, Foreman was a great fighter as well. I learned a lot off of him, watching him fight. You know, how he handled people, pushed them back, and, you know, his defense, all that type of thing. So I catch a lot of different things from a lot of old boxers that are great.
Who would you say your style most emulated?
You know, I kind of developed my own style. Okay. You know, I like I said, I grabbed a little from this person, a little from that person, and I made it into my own style. So something that, you know, like I said, Foreman was doing good, I put that into my style. You know, everybody said Larry Holmes had a great jab, you know, but it was a jab to mug you. I wanted a jab to knock you out. So I developed my jab more as a 2x4.
Snapping it. Bam.
So it's coming straight, So even if it hits you, you know, your face and your whole body is moving back with it.
But when I look at you, I don't look at you as a heavyweight. You ushered in the division of what we call the super heavyweight.
Yes.
The 6'4", 6'5" to 250, the 245 to 250 guy.
Yeah.
Ali was 205. These heavyweights, Joe Frazier, 205. Even Mike Tyson was like 215-ish. You were that first big guy, and you won the Olympic gold in Seoul in '88 as a super heavyweight. Do you look at yourself like, I brought a new era of super heavyweight to boxing?
Yeah, and I think that era needed to be there because, you know, the era was over 200 pounds, you're a heavyweight. So that means, like, okay, if you're 201, you know, you fought a guy that's 250. And sometimes it's not fair, just the weight difference. And, yeah, I'm glad they did it. And you're right. Different eras actually bring out different weights for heavyweights. So in Muhammad Ali's era, the highest weight was probably 215.
Right.
Although George Foreman wasn't exactly little, right?
Right. Then you got Larry Holmes. They're 230, 220. Got my era is
With the Klitschko brothers.
230, 245.
Now Wilder and Joshua.
They're 245. You know, Wilder surprises me. 212 pounds, and he can. That's pure muscle he's got, and he can generate a lot of power. Comes from a long way away, and when it lands, bingo.
But how Fury get up?
Fury.
How did Fury get up after taking that shot flush?
It wasn't a flush shot. It was more of a glancing shot, and I think he was down there already.
Right.
So when he got hit, he just laid down, and he was like, "Oh, I made a mistake. Let me just get up," because it didn't really affect me that much. And you know, the referee should be commended because usually referees say and call off the fight.
Right.
This was like basically last round, and he's like allowing him to get up.
Right.
You know, you could look at a couple of my losses.
Right.
You know, I'm the champion. Man knocks me down in the second round. Right. I get up. The referee goes like that. I'm like, I'm the champion. Why are you waving it off? So you get those.
You talking about the Rockman fight?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that fight.
So.
Speaking of George Foreman, after back in 2002 that you toyed with Mike Tyson and then just destroyed him, like you just had your way with him. George Foreman declared you were the greatest heavyweight of all time, and I think he was emphasizing the word heavyweight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. You know, the fact that he said that was a great honor to me. You know what I mean? Obviously, he's been watching me box for a long time, so he's watched how I've come up and how I've developed. So, you know, I appreciate the fact that he said that.
So now let's go to the other end of the scale, the little people,
Little
such as Floyd Mayweather Jr. Your thoughts on his career? How impressed have you been from a distance about him?
Very impressed. You know, I was wondering, why can't anybody catch him? and it's funny to see boxers go in there and say, I'm going to beat him. I'm going to, you know, he's not stronger than me. Yeah. And they're throwing punches. They can't catch him. Then they say to themselves, you know what? He moves a lot. I'm going to practice moving. Then I'm going to catch him. Then they have a second fight. I'm like, this is something you can't learn over a fight. You have to learn over years to be able to cut off the ring and catch a guy and know how to go after a guy like Floyd. So that's the big mistake they're making. But as far as his career, great career, he's an amazing athlete. He did it his way, and you know, he's undefeated. Not many boxers can say that. I'm undefeated to a point because everybody that beat me, I beat them back. And then when Floyd says he's the greatest boxer ever, I'm like, you didn't box me.
True.
All right.
But when people look at Floyd, they say, well, he doesn't really, because he doesn't knock people out. But can you explain to people that Floyd hits harder than one would expect because they don't just walk through his punches?
Right. Well, you know, a good thing that Floyd does, right, when guys are coming after him, it makes it seem like he's going away. But when they're coming forward, he comes forward. And when those things hit, you know, that's where his power comes out and shows his power. And a lot of people don't realize how quick he is. Man is quick on his feet, quick with his hands, quick with his body. You know, he does this little tic-tac thing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, you know, this is what he's been doing from a baby.
Yeah.
So it's like,
That's
you know,
that roll he's.
That's interesting.
Yeah, every time you throw a punch at him, he's going to do that and come back with a punch. Nobody can figure it out.
So give us some insight into this Spence Garcia fight that we will see a week from Saturday night.
Exciting fight. You got two undefeated guys. And let me tell you, Garcia comes from a family of fighters. And, you know, he's got great skill, great history behind him. And he's up against, he's moving up in weight class. He's up against Spence. Spence is a bigger man than him, longer arms, but they both throw great punches. So it's going to be a slugfest. It's going to be a chess match, and it's going to be a war, all in one.
But the southpaw by Spence Jr., how big a factor would that play into an orthodox or a right-hand fighter like Garcia?
Well, you know, he's been boxing.
Because you a southpaw.
No, I'm orthodox.
You orthodox?
I'm orthodox.
So how were you throwing that left,
this one?
that one hit a quitter, huh?
Yeah, that was my haymaker. You know,
The jab?
yeah. Most people usually see a punch coming straight.
Okay.
So they're prepared for that straight punch. But when a punch comes out of there over here, they're they're not looking over there. They're still expecting it straight because that's all they've been working on. If they've been sparring a guy that's been a wild punchy, then they'll be prepared for that type of shot.
Okay.
But the southpaw always is a difficulty, especially guys that are not used to it.
Right.
Garcia's going to be used to it. He's been boxing for too long. He knows what to do.
Did southpaw fighters cause you a problem?
Guess how many southpaw fighters I boxed?
How many?
None.
No way.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Is that
Wait, that wasn't by design, was it? Or?
You know what? Nobody really came.
I was going to say heavyweights.
Yeah, nobody really came into play that was a southpaw. The last southpaw I remember fighting was in the Canadian Championships. And I just pressured him, boom, boom, boom. I didn't even allow him to throw any shots because I knew myself that, he's going to be punching from a different angle. I've sparred with a southpaw, and that was like, you know, I wasn't really happy because it's like I'm, you know, that thing again where I'm looking for the orthodox fighter to come at me.
And he's coming from a different angle.
Right. So you really have to get used to that.
Sounds like you're leaning Garcia is just the better fighter.
No, Spence that's his weight class. Garcia's moving up.
Okay.
I know.
When you're moving up and boxing a guy he's the best guy at his weight class, it's difficult. not many people have done that in history. Only a couple. Pacquiao has done it in history.
Yeah.
And, if there's one guy to do it, it's him, Mikey.
Let me ask you this. Well, how difficult is it to move up weight classes and still maintain power? Because that's what Pacquiao was able to do.
Yeah.
Move up from 106, 112, and go all the way up to 154 and still possess knockout power. Yeah. How difficult is that?
Well, what you find with a lot of these boxers, they box 2 weights down. But when they're walking around, they're walking 2 weights up.
Okay.
So it's a situation where, all right, I don't have to lose weight anymore.
Right.
I can box at the weight I'm walking around. Sometimes that's a mistake,
right?
Because they don't usually bring the power with them,
right?
And when they move up in weight classes, the guys at heavier weight classes can absorb punishment more, and it's not easy to knock them out.
Right.
So that's what he's facing in this fight.
All right.
Great
This is
stuff.
interesting.
Yeah.
Lennox, thank you so much for being here. I'm looking
Thank you.
forward to
Thank
this
you.
one.
Loved it.
Make sure to check
All right.
out Spence Garcia next Saturday on pay-per-view. Appreciate your time.